everybody, it's Diamond, and today I'm back with a different type of video for you guys. So today I'm gonna do like a story time video, and this is something that happened like a couple of months ago, like back in like November, I think. Yeah, it was November. So like this was kind of like a scary experience for me, and I'll kind of tell you more about it in a minute, but like I'm in grade 11 right now, and when this happened, I was still in grade 11. I was in the beginning of grade 11, and I'm actually on spare right now, and I'm in my boyfriend's car, and I'm probably gonna get a ticket, but you don't have to pay these tickets. But if the guy comes, I'm just kind of gonna move the car. But anyways, so here's to my story. So basically, it was November something, and I was in math class. Like, the whole day I was feeling fine. Like, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, I wasn't feeling sick or nothing. So then, I'm in class, my teacher's doing a lesson, and all of a sudden, there's like this ringing in my ears, and it's really weird. And then, like, I was like looking at the board, and like I was hallucinating things. Like, it looked like there was just soccer balls moving around and like kind of like blocking my vision. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is really weird. I kind of knew that there was something off, but I didn't really know yet. I was like, okay, like whatever, honestly. And then, like, since I was feeling weird, I had my phone like on my desk, and I went to go like reach for it so I could just like kind of like be on it to kind of calm myself down. And then as I went to reach for it, I like thought I was grabbing it, but then I knocked it off my desk. I just knocked it off. And I was like, ugh. It made a loud noise, and it was just like, whatever. And so I was just like, okay, it's fine. Like, I'll just grab it. So I kind of like hold onto my desk a little bit, and then I like reach under. Like, it kind of fell on the right side, but for some reason I was grabbing it from the left. I don't know. It was like, anyway, so like I kind of like reach under, and then I just, everything kind of goes in slow motion from here. So my body is like falling. Like, I'm not like sitting right, like I'm falling. And in the slow motion, like in my head, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. Like, this is gonna be so bad. And then all I remember is like I hit the ground, and then I blacked out. Like I was out. And like some things happened during that process. So I had a bunch of friends in my class, and they told me that while I was out, my body started shaking, like I was having a seizure on the floor in the middle of math class while my teacher's trying to teach. So I don't really know how long that lasted. I don't think it was that long, but then I regained consciousness, but it wasn't like full consciousness. So what I remember was that I kind of woke up, and I was like, I'm fine, like I'm just dehydrated, like it's fine, like let's get back to class. But what everybody else in the classroom said was that nothing I was saying was making any sense. Like, what I thought I was saying, I was not saying. Like, I was just like, and I genuinely thought that I was saying stuff, right? And apparently it was all just nothing made sense, and it was really weird. So then I was just like, I was feeling better. So I was like awake, and I was feeling like fine, like not that bad, but somebody just looked at me. Yeah, so then apparently, I don't remember this part either though. So like I was trying to stand up, and then I hit my head on somebody's desk apparently, and then I kind of like did something, and then I like sort of stood up again. I tried, and I hit my head on another desk, and like everybody was just kind of holding me down to the ground, being like, no, like don't stand, like what are you doing, like don't stand up. And I was just like, I'm fine. So then they held me on the ground, and I was like, okay, well, I need to get my phone then. So I was still kind of in like a daze at this point. Like, nothing felt really real. And so my phone was still under my desk. So I was trying to like reach for it. But then as I was reaching for it, it was like I wasn't grabbing it. I was just pushing it farther and farther away. And it was like, why can't I just grab my phone? So then I don't remember if like I actually ended up grabbing it or not, or somebody passed it to me, but I was like, I'm standing up now, like we're finishing the lesson, because we had a test to write. Like, we were doing review and then we were writing a test. So I basically, like, I was able to stand up and everybody was like, don't do that, but I did it anyways. And I sat on my chair and I was like, okay, teacher, like, proceed to the lesson, like, I'm fine. Because I was genuinely feeling, like, fine. Like, my head was hurting, but I was like, ugh, I was embarrassed. Like, I passed out in class, and I didn't know that I had seized. Like, at this point, I didn't know that. And I was just, like, embarrassed, and I was like, okay, like, can we just, like, go? And my teacher was like, no, like, I've already called the principal, like, you're not gonna be in class. And I was like, but we have a test. And she's like, it's fine. I never did end up writing that test, by the way. It's fine, though. So she was like, my teacher was like, can you come out in the hall with me? And I was like, why? Like, I don't know what's going on. So I go in the hall with her, and she's like, her back is to the wall, and I'm facing her, I think. Actually, it might be the other way. I'm not sure. But she was like, are you on any drugs? And I was like, no, I'm not on any drugs. Nuh-uh. And, like, I don't know, she just thought I was on drugs. And then she was like, your face is really pale. And I was like, I bet it is. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, this is all crazy. But she's like, no, like, your face is, like, pure white. And I was like, and my lips were apparently white and blue. Like, I don't know, I couldn't see. But apparently my lips were blue and my face was white. And I looked like a ghost. But then, you know, she was like, okay. And then she was like, the principal's coming. Well, no, that's actually not what she said. She said that she called somebody to help. So I thought, like, I don't know, maybe, like, an ambulance, like some paramedics, like somebody that can actually help. But no, my principal came. And he brought me into, like, the math office. And he kind of sat me down. And he was like, your face is green. I whipped up my phone and I was like, it wasn't, like, that green. Maybe, like, a green hue to it. Like, I don't know. But he said it looked green. And I was like, okay. Because I guess, like, things were off, right? And he asked me about drugs, too. And I was like, I'm not on drugs. Like, I'm not on drugs. I think I would know. Then he asked me about, like, vaping. And if I had vaped, like, shatter or something. And I was like, no, nuh-uh. I'm just, like, living my life, trying to be at school. Like, you know. And then he was like, he asked me if I drove to school. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I don't want you to drive. Like, I want you to text your mom to come pick you up. And I said I would, but, like, I didn't want to go. Like, I didn't want to go home yet. And it's kind of weird because I wasn't feeling well. But if we're being completely honest, I was kind of, like, I had this, like, boy. And, like, I wanted to, like, see him because I was not feeling good. But it was, like, I couldn't really tell nobody. You know, it's a long story. I'll make another video about that another time, but, like, it's too soon. But, yeah, so there was this boy, Joshua, really, before we were dating. And I wanted to, like, see him because I was just, like, I don't know. I just, like, kind of wanted to talk to somebody that I felt really comfortable with. So I told him I'd tell my mom to go home. But I did end up texting my mom and telling her what had happened. But I lied to everybody at school, and I told them that I just wanted to stay because people in drama were presenting, like, their things. And that's not why I wanted to stay. Like, yeah, everybody's been working hard, so I did want to see that stuff. But that's not why I was, like, staying at school. But, like, I stayed, and I ended up seeing him, but I ended up going to drama class, which was the last class of the day. I didn't really go for a while. Like, I was just kind of, like, hanging around because after math, like, after I got taken out of the class near the beginning, like, it was, like, 20 minutes into class, probably not even, like, 10. The principal brought me down to this area, like, in the office. It was the same area I was in that time I got suspended, which I never told you about, but I was stuck in this area all day, so that's where I was, and then I just kind of, like, left. And then I talked to some of my friends, and I was still, like, I was not feeling right. But I ended up going to drama class, and then there was this girl in my drama class that was in sports med, and she was like, I want to give you a scat test to see if you have to see if I have a concussion. And I was like, okay. So we go into, like, the other part of the drama area, because it's kind of cool. There's, like, couches and stuff. And we sit down, and she starts the scat test. You know, she asks me, like, questions, like, I don't know, like, touch your nose like this, or, like, I don't know, like, follow my finger with your eyes, and, like, count the months backwards. I didn't know I could do that till that day, but I had to do, like, stuff like that, and, like, memory stuff, like, remembering words. and then I did some like stand-up like balance stuff, and then she asked me for my symptoms, and this is where she said things were a little bit weird, because like everything else was like pretty good, you know, like maybe not 100%, but like not that bad. But then my symptoms were really bad. Like, she'd be like, how does your head feel? And like I was like, it's absolutely throbbing. And like, how's your like memory of everything? And I was like, I don't know, like it's like really blurry and all that stuff. And she was saying that like my symptoms were really bad, but everything else was fine, so it was weird. She ended up giving me another scat test like the next day or something, but I wasn't allowed to drive. And so I told my mom that things were a lot like less bad than they were, because I needed to stay at school, you know? So I told her that I needed her to come pick me up, because my principal told me not to drive. Everybody was telling me not to drive because we don't know what's wrong, and that'd be really bad if that happened again while I was driving. Like, I would die. And so my mom came to pick me up, but then I was like, what do I do with my car? So one of my friends from my drama class drove my car home, which was super nice of him. Thank you. And once I got home, I was not feeling good. Like, I'd kind of like an adrenaline rush, like, before in the day, so it wasn't that bad. But once I was home, like, I was not feeling too hot. Like, it was not good. Like, my head was hurting. I did not feel well. And I don't think I went to school, like, the next day. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I had cheer that day, though. I did not go, because it was really bad. But, like, I don't know exactly how the timeline is, but I ended up making a doctor's appointment like pretty much as soon as possible. So I think I went like the next week, and I went to the doctor's and I told him kind of like what had happened, and he asked me like if like I peed myself and all that stuff, which did not happen, thank God. But because apparently that stuff happens like sometimes if you have a seizure, and I was like, oh my God, that would have been even worse. But no, that did not happen. And he told me that my school should have called like an ambulance, and I should have gone to the hospital, or at least called paramedics. Like, they should not have just left me like that. So, like, thank God I was fine. But, yeah. So, my doctor told me that I need to go to this, like, place to get my blood done and to get an ECG, like, scan. It's like a heart scan, where they, like, scan your heart to make sure everything's fine. So that was like a week later or a couple days later, I can't really remember, but it was like a 3-hour appointment. So I didn't end up going to school after that, I don't think. But so I first went, and I had to wait in the waiting room for a while, even though we had an appointment. And then I went in and I got like 3 tubes of blood drawn. It hurt so bad. Like, it hurt so bad. And I don't think I was allowed to eat. I'm not really sure. I don't know. And then after that, I had to wait for another sec, and then I had to go into this other room, which was where they were doing the ECG scan. So, the scan is basically, like, they stick a bunch of stickers to you, kind of, like, around your heart, and then they stick, like, they kind of attach, like, wires to it. It's, like, those wire things, and then they, like, scan it. So, when I was in there, like, the lady, she gave me this, like, big orange drink in a cup, and it looked like orange soda. Did not taste like orange soda, though. It was really, really bad. And I had 10 minutes to drink that. So I kind of had to pound it back. Like, at first, it wasn't so bad, but then it got pretty bad. And so, after that, I, like, lay down in the bed, and I had to, like, take my clothes off. I had to take my whole top off. And then she gave me, like, this, like, paper vest to put on so she could put on the stickers and the wires. And then I had to lay there, like, super still while she, like, examined it. I don't think there was ever anything wrong with it, though. And then after that, I had to go do a urine test, so I had to go pee in a cup, and it was, like, pretty gross, but, like, whatever. And then I had to give that, and then I had to wait, like, 3 hours for that juice and, like, the sugar to soak into my blood. So then, like, 3 hours later, I have to go back into the room where you get your needles, and they took, like, 3 more things of blood. And then after that, I was ready to go. But it hurt so bad. Like, I wanted to get out with it. Like, needles hurt, and I don't find them fun. I don't know who would. Some people do. But, so after that, I was out. Went home, whatever. And then, like, not that long later, my mom got, like, a phone call. And, like, from my actual doctor, because they sent all this stuff to my family doctor. And my doctor called her and told her that I have, what do I have? Low blood sugar, but not always. So, like, it's not like not diabetes, or like not even close to diabetes, but like sometimes like the sugar in my blood will like drop really, really low. And he said that that's what happened. Like my blood sugar was just so low to the point where my body passed out. And he also told my mom that I have low iron. So my mom got me iron pills. I don't take those very much though. I always forget. But it's fine. So after that, it was all for a bit. And then, like, a while later, like, this was not that long ago. Like, I think I did the next part in, like, February. So it was quite a while. But my doctor told my mom that she needs to bring me into the hospital to do an EEG exam. And that's the head one. That's where there's, like, stickers and, like, wires that they stick to your head. And, like, that one had to be a sleep-deprived test. So I had to go to bed at midnight, and then my mom woke me up at 4. And, like, I was not allowed to, like, hit that snooze button. I had to be awake at 4. And that was really hard because I'm a teenager and I need my sleep. But I think we left the house, I think my test was at, like, 8 o'clock or 8:30. So my mom drove me to the children's hospital, and then, like, this lady came out, and she was like, Diamond? And I was like, yeah. How you feeling? And I was like, tired. So she brings me into this room, and we kind of sit down. She talks to me for a bit, asking me kind of similar questions that my doctor did about, like, kind of what happened. So I told her what happened, and then she had me, like, lay down. So everything went kind of, like, quick. But what she did, because she told me that I'm going to, like, have these, like, things in my head. Like, I had some research beforehand. And, yeah. So I pretty much, like, lay down in the bed, and she kind of, like, separated my hair in weird ways, and she stuck this, like, glue to my hair. And then, or, like, well, I guess to my scalp. But, yeah, like, it was really annoying because I had to, like, I had to come in with clean hair. So I showered that morning, which also helped me, like, wake up a bit. Not really, but, and, like, before she put the glue on, which the glue was going to make my hair dirty again, which was annoying because I was going to have to wash my hair 2 times in one day, but, which is not good for my hair. But before she put the glue on, she, like, took this tape measure, and she, like, measured my head to kind of get the size, I guess, I don't know. And then she took this, like, marker, which I think was blue, or, like, a chalk thing, and she kind of, like, sketched out areas of my head, like, I don't know, like, where she was going to put the glue and the stickers. So when she was all sketched out, she, like, put this weird glue stuff on my head, and she, like, exfoliated it, which kind of hurt. But, yeah, so she glued it, and then she would stick stickers. So she stuck, like, I don't know, here, like, a bunch of places. I don't know. I think there was one by my heart, too. Or 2. There was a couple on my heart. And then she, like, took the wires and, like, attached them to all the spots, which did not hurt. But then she, like, once they were all done, she grabbed this, like, I don't know, it was kind of like a big gauze thing. Like, I don't know what it's called, but it was white. And she just kind of, like, wrapped it completely around my head, like, down here and around. And I looked like a mummy, but, like, it was fine. And so she started, like, examining my head, and then she told me to, like, she turned off the lights, and she was like, okay, try to fall asleep. And that was the point of being sleep deprived, is that she wanted to be able to scan my brain while I was awake and asleep. I fell asleep, like, right away. I think I was asleep for, like, 20 or 30 minutes before she woke me up, but she was just kind of, like, scanning my sleep brain movements. And then when she woke me up, she started, like, she kind of got me, I think I was still laying down. She, like, came over and she, like, brought a light. So it's kind of like when you go to the dentist and then they have a light, but she brought this light kind of in front of my eyes, and she would, like, so she'd tell me to open my eyes, and then she'd tell me to close them, and then it would, like, flash a couple times, like, really bright, and then she'd tell me to open them and then close them, and then it would flash a bunch of times. So we did that for, like, a while, and then we were, like, kind of done. She did some flashy things before too, but it was mostly just, like, that. And then then we were, like, done. So she took the bandage thing off my head, attached all the wires. They were, like, rainbow wires, though, because it's, like, the children's hospital. I don't know if other places have rainbow wires, but I like the children's hospital because it's so fun. And then you know, she took off the wires, took off the stickers. The glue was still in my hair. It was super annoying. But then I could, like, go home, which I was excited for because I don't think I went to school that day because I was exhausted. But then, yeah. So we went home and I went to sleep. And then I think I hung out with my boyfriend later that day. I totally did. I went over to his house, actually, because I had a nap at home, I think, and then I went over to his house, and then we played some, like, video games or whatever, and then I ended up having a nap for, like, a while, but then he cooked me dinner, and it was, like, super cute. But, yeah, so as of right now, like, it's, like, tomorrow's May. Like, it's May. And it's May, and this happened, like, a while ago, and we haven't really heard much about the whole brain thing. So I'm assuming that everything's fine. Like, if there was something not fine, I feel like we would know. So now I'm just kind of, like, living. Like, sometimes I'm afraid that stuff's gonna happen again, but I don't think it is. Like, I think it was just a one-time thing, but it was really kind of traumatizing when it happened, because I was just like, oh my goodness, like, stuff like this doesn't happen to me. Like, I'm not really the kind of person that, like, crazy medical things happen to. But, you know, it is what it is. And I was just really embarrassed. But, like, a lot of people were just kind of, like, people were worried. And, like, what kind of makes me laugh is that, like, when the initial, like, pass-out seizure thing happened, everybody else in the class had to write their test. Like, after their friend or just, like, one of their classmates, like, falls off their chair and has a seizure. You still gotta write your test. But I never wrote that test, so I'm pretty happy about that. And, yeah, that is my story. I'll insert some photos right now in case you don't believe me, which I don't know why you wouldn't believe me, because, like, anyways, I have a photo from the time I got my ECG, which it's not really, like, a good photo, it's just a smiley photo, but I have, like, my little, like, paper open vest thing on. And then I also have 2 photos of my EEG, like, the head one. They're not very good photos. Like, one is, like, just, like, kind of half of my face that kind of, like, shows, like, the head wrap. And then I have another photo like that. It's pretty bad. I'm not looking too cute. But, it was a photo that I sent to somebody because I thought it was funny, but I could insert that, maybe. I'll see if I can find it. But it's, like, a full photo that you can, like, see it on, and you can see the wires in the back. So, yeah, I'll insert those right now. But, yeah, so that was my story about the time that I had a seizure in the middle of math class. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more of me. If there's any other videos or, like, things you want to see from me on my channel, just comment them down below, or you can, like, send me a DM, whatever. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!